What's going on, guys? Barry here today, and well, today I watched the My Little Pony G5 movie, and I'm just here to give my thoughts. There will be spoilers in this video, so if you haven't seen the movie, click off immediately. So, basically, I thought the movie was good. It was exactly what I thought it would be. Basically, some friends going out on an adventure, trying to do things, and that's exactly what it was. Just gonna try and keep this as short as possible. Basically, all the characters, minus one, are likable. The only one I didn't really like was the villain, which is good, because the villain is supposed to be the bad guy, right? You're not supposed to like the villains. He's better than the Storm King, I'll give him that, but I didn't like his character. He was more annoying than anything else. But Sunny, Izzy, Hitch, Pip, and Zip were all likable characters. As much as the extras, they were all likable characters. Like, my favorite is Izzy. Like, she's a mixture if, like, Derpy and Pinky were mixed. Like, she's crazy, but she also has, like, that nonchalant attitude. Like, she's got this carefree nature that just makes her amazing. She's a great character, and I love her. No questions asked. If I had a second favorite character, it'd definitely be Sunny. Sunny's simple, very, like, what's the word? Like, she's a very, very adventurous and just she just likes to, optimistic, that's what I'm looking for. She's a very optimistic character, and I love her character and the premise of her character. She's very likable, she's very funny, she's a very Twilight Sparkle-esque kind of character, which I guess is what Hasbro was going for without making her Twilight Sparkle. But, yeah, they're all great characters. Hitch is definitely different from what I thought he would be. He apparently is the sheriff of a place called Maritime Bay, which is where Sunny lives. Basically, the world is divided into, well, as far as we know, in this movie, it's divided into 3 different kingdoms. We have Maritime Bay, Zephyr Heights, and Bridalwood. Bridalwood is where the unicorns live. Zephyr Heights is where the Pegasi live, and as I just said, Maritime Bay is where the Earth Ponies live. Basically, we're living in a world where everybody just hates each other because they're being led by this assumption. Sorry, I have to check the time on my camera. But basically, they're being led by a lie. Like, how this happened, it's not revealed in the film. So, yeah, there's that. But basically, we're in a world where everybody's believing that everybody is against each other, and that if they were to get to know, like, a Pegasus or a unicorn, they would act horribly toward them, and they would treat them like crap. Like, Earth Ponies are very afraid that if a unicorn were to show up, they'd use their magic to take care of them. Like, bzz. But basically, it's a total lie. Because, well, as expected, Izzy just shows up in town. Like, she just shows up at Maritime Bay, and the only pony that likes her is Sunny. She's the one who gives her an actual chance to show that she's not a threat. But her introduction, perfect. She's just this nonchalant character that's just like, la-di-da-di-da-di-da. Oh, what does this button do? Like, she's very DD-ish. That's why I put her in a description like Pinky and Derpy together. Like, she's nonchalant, but she's also kind of crazy and very happy and always happy. Basically, Sunny takes her in. They end up as fugitives and end up running away. And basically, they end up finding the root. Like, they find out the truth of what is really happening in Equestria. And basically, in this world, there is no magic. How this happened, we have yet to find out, which is probably going to be explored in the series. But basically, the world is devoid of magic. There is no magic whatsoever. The Earth Ponies can't do their thing, the unicorns can't cast magic spells, and the Pegasi can't fly. This is a world that is just horrible. Like, no magic, no joy, no hope. But basically, Izzy and Sunny end up going to the Pegasi because they think that they have the answer to, why magic disappeared, or they can give them the magic back. Well, when they get there, they notice, Pegasi aren't flying in the town. And, well, then they find out from Pip, I believe. It's either Pip or Zip. I can't really tell the difference. I think it's Zip, actually. The one who is not so social media savvy. Um, they basically learn from her that there is no such magic at all. Like, they don't know why it was taken away. And long story short, they find this relic that supposedly might be the answer to why magic disappeared. It's been separated of 2 extra parts. So they end up going to Bridalwood, where they know one of the pieces of it is missing. And along the way, they run into Husk and all that. There's a lot more to the story than I thought there'd be, honestly. Like, Husk ends up going after them because he's the sheriff. Like, he is friends with Sunny, but Sunny tends to cause a lot of mischief because she's so devoted to getting the idea across that the other species are not their enemy. But, the sheep will be led by the shepherd. They will believe anything, basically. So, basically, to sum it up, when they get this relic together, it doesn't work. And I really like this. It's very Rainbow Road Trip-ish, because in Rainbow Road Trip, the cause of the, hopelessness and why it was so bleak is because the hope of the town was taken away. Like, they lost hope, and that just took every bit of the color and happiness away. And that's basically what ended up happening. The hope was taken away, and it just diminished. So, what ends up happening, and this is my biggest gripe with the film, but we'll get to that in a minute. Basically, they end up getting their hope back by uniting the kingdoms once again, and, yep, the ponies are united once again. And they end up defeating this brat, this mama's boy, which is our villain for the film. Trust me, guys, he's way better than the Storm King. But now on to my biggest gripes with the film. My biggest gripes are the world and, well, basically rushed writing. But basically, the world is really hard to understand. Like, you don't understand the world very well. Like, it seems like the world is like here, here, and here. Like, it seems like they're all in like this triangle, and they're all so close together. When, if you remember Equestria was big, huge. Like, Camelot was here, Ponyville was here, Cloudsdale was up here, Manhattan was clear over here. It was huge and wide. That's the thing that I didn't understand. I'm like, okay, is this world wide, or is it just like right there together? Which wouldn't make sense because this is still Equestria. And there's one scene where Izzy actually gets home because she's given up hope basically on doing anything. And her friends catch up to her. Like, her new friends, Izzy and Pip and Zip, they all end up catching up to her as if they were like right there. And they had walked all the way from Bridalwood. So, that's the thing. This world is very hard to understand. But I'll let the series sum that up. I have a feeling they're going to explore that more in the series. Okay, next up, one of my biggest gripes is the rushed writing. But I think you're going to have this in any film. But this, I really, really wished they hadn't rushed this. Because this is one of the biggest things of the film. Basically, the whole goal of the film is to unite the nations once again. But they went about it the wrong way. Basically, one of my biggest problems with the film is that they made the persuasion by Sunny to reunite the nations and, make people gain hope back. Well, ponies gain hope back, whatever. Basically, she made it way too easy. Like, the persuasion was way too easy. Like, literally. She just says this. She's like, I have this relic that can supposedly make things go back to normal. And they just give her this crystal after they had taken it back. I don't understand. Well, they hadn't taken it back, but they were asking for it back. But basically, she's put into a situation where she has no choice but to do it. Otherwise, she's gonna, you know, end up in the hands of the law, or the hooves of the law, technically. But basically, that's one of my biggest gripes of the film, is that it was way too easily persuaded. Like, way too easy. Like, I feel like they could have made room. Like, they could have taken out a song, and they could have put more time for that in. That was the biggest problem. Is it a problem that ruins the film? No, it's not. Because it's an hour and 31 minutes long, so they had to keep it to at least that length in order to keep kids interested, because that is the target audience, guys. It's not for bronies. It's not just for bronies like us. So I didn't hate the film. I loved the film. I loved the characters, all except for Sprout. Sprout was annoying. He's literally the guy from the Washouts that represented Anger from Inside Out. Like, he looked just like Anger. Besides that rushed writing and, the world being kind of hard to understand like how it's laid out, it's a great film. Like, do you have to see G4 in order to understand this? No, you actually don't. It is connected. And I know a certain somebody is not going to be happy about that, but whatever. It personally doesn't bother me. And there is a sequence with the main six, but technically it's not connected to them. It's just a story. Like, it's like a role play. And it's right at the beginning of the film. Like, I was happy to see my main six again, but I was also just ready for a new story and a whole bunch of new characters, like I stated in my thoughts on G4 ending video. But altogether, the film is great for what it is, and it's a perfect representation and entertaining movie to give us a start to what the series is going to be whenever it comes out. Like, it's just so much better. The only other mild gripe that I have with it, but you get this no matter what, with like a movie with like a lot of characters in it. It happened in the old MLP movie, so this is going to happen. The only characters that I don't think got enough time to really develop and really become friends with them was Pip and Zip. They were kind of the characters that didn't get much screen time, if you ask me. Like, they did get screen time, not scream time. They did get screen time, but they didn't get enough, in my opinion. Like, they didn't have enough development, and it just kind of seemed rushed, especially on Pip's end. Because Pip is this optimistic and social media heavy, like, character that she just loves to put herself out in the public eye. She loves, basically, if you are big on the internet, that's basically what she is. She's a YouTuber, a streamer, she's that kind of character. While Zip is more, I want to change the world kind of character. Well, she doesn't want to change the world, she just wants her flying. She wants to fly. Because the Pixie can't fly without, Hope being there. But they don't realize this. Altogether, it's a solid start. It honestly is a solid start. So whenever G5 comes out, I am looking forward to it. Do I recommend you guys watch it? Absolutely. It's fantastic. Like, it's fantastic to me. It's simple. It's not hard to understand. You don't even need to see G4 to understand this, honestly. It's like starting all over again. Well, I wouldn't say starting all over again, but it's kind of that premise. Like, you have this character that just wants to change the world, and she knows that the world can be changed because the unicorn and the Pegasi are not their enemy. There is a scene at the end of the film that might trigger you. Like, they kind of repeated it season 3 with Twilight getting her wings. And this is where it kind of opens up with cliffhangers and makes you think on what can be set up in the series. Sunny becomes an alicorn when the hope is brought back. Like, we have another rainbow with the relics, because the relics activate. They're kind of like the elements of harmony. The relics activate when hope is brought back, and it created like a sonic rainbow that spread the hope all across the land. So the hope is brought back. Sunny becomes an alicorn, and we have this setup for the show. Plus, there's a cutscene with like these 3 fillies that I'm guessing are a new CMC. Either that or like what's the word for this? Like, hitting characters that are going to be like the next main 5 that are going to learn from these characters. Like, I don't know. I can't assure anything, guys. I'm just a guy who's making like my opinions and making theories on what it could be, like guesses. altogether, I think the series is going to be solid. The CGI looks fine, and the songs were great. Minus the last one. I didn't really care for the last one. But altogether, it's a fun film. Kids can enjoy it. Adults can enjoy it. And I heavily recommend you guys go see it. Or watch it on Netflix. But altogether, yep, that's my thoughts on the film. I loved it. Izzy's my favorite character. Sunny would be my second favorite. My second favorite. But altogether, that's all I can really say about it. It's a fantastic film. It's way better than the 2017 film. Because the 2017 film, yeah, that scene with Twilight and the Storm King, just no. That was my biggest problem with that film. But altogether, G5 looks pretty strong. And I didn't expect Hasbro to, like, fail in that regard because they've been doing this for long enough. They know how to bring them in, and they have good writers on the... Well, I wouldn't say all good writers. But GM Barrow was one of them. So, I'm really looking forward if she's a big writer on this. But, altogether, that's my thoughts on the film. Let me know in the comments if you guys have seen this, what your thoughts are. And, yep, that's all I've got for you guys. Hopefully, you can respect my opinion of the film, and if you hate it, so good for you. Other than that, that's all I got. And until next time, guys, happy horse until next time, and make sure to take care.